Hey everybody, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer and welcome to a new playthrough video. Today I'm going to be playing a game of Stargrave. I am playing against a custom boss that I have created. I did this in a previous video and I got a lot of positive comments and feedback, especially on a Facebook group that I'm part of where I shared this. This is called the AI Infection Mothership. It's supposed to be a little more powerful than the one that I released earlier called the AI Infection Hub ship. So we'll see how this goes. Now again, this is my first playthrough. Actually, that's not true. I did play through it one time when I was creating the rules, but it was sort of like on the fly. So now I'm going to play it with the modified values and we'll see how it goes. This is probably not the final version, so I will post a link in the video description, if I can remember, to where you can download this. But if you want, you can always, I try to release one of these about every other week. And if you sign up for my free newsletter, there will be a link to download the card every time one comes out, so you'll never miss a chance to get a new boss monster, or a new boss, excuse me. All right, so this one is the AI Infection Mothership. It's a standard 30 XP per player, so I've already got its 30 XP set here. I will be getting 50. Standard challenge rules. The boss will get cards that will give them combat, and they will be based off of one card on their turn dropping off of here. Everything shifts left and this one comes up and a new one's revealed. So I will be starting with 2 Vipers, and let me make sure I've got them on there. Yeah, 2 Vipers and 8 Scouts. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle this up. I've already shuffled these decks and we'll get started. So first thing I need to do is obviously put out the 5 that I can buy. So let me tell you what the rules are. So if for the yellow, which is I think the Imperial, I can't remember all the different, let me flip it over here. The yellow one is the Star Empire. So for the Star Empire, it says boss will steal the highest cost non-outpost base for defense. If there are no non-outposts, boss attacks with 4 or damage equal to the cost of the player's highest cost outpost, whichever is higher. So this was designed to sort of be more of a brunt fight versus fight with very little with very little bases. Because if you have bases, it's not good, and as I read more of these, you'll understand why. So for the red, which is the machine cult, boss will infect and absorbs all Vipers in player's hands. So if you have 2 Vipers in your hand, they are absorbed. If there's no Vipers, they get 4 attack, and if they do absorb the Vipers, the boss gains 4 health. So just keep that in mind. If I draw a green card, which is the blob faction, the boss will infect and scraps the highest cost card in the player's hand. If the cost of the stolen card is less than 2, the boss will scrap a second card, which the player chooses. And then the last one, which is the Trade Federation, the blue card, this is the one that you need to listen to. Boss infects all bases under player's control. All bases self-destruct and attack player with damage equal to half the total cost of all base cards. So if I have a 4 and a 4 out, it will self-destruct, deal me 8 divided by 2, it'll deal me 4 damage. So this is sort of my experiment to play with a boss that sort of wants you to not play with bases, but we'll see. All right, let's go ahead. I've shuffled them up. Let me draw the remaining cards here. 3, 4, and 5. Now, there's an outpost, which I'm tempted to buy, because if it destroys it, it'll take 2, but it does do me 4 defense. But remember, I don't get the defense when it's attacking me. It self-destructs if I do the blue. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see what I got. Scout, 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 Scout. 5 purchase. All right, so there are 2 Vipers in here. And watch, I'll draw that hand and draw the green, and it'll make me get rid of those Vipers. Actually, the red, excuse me. All right, with the 5, You know what? I think it's more going to be about punching damage here. So I'm going to go ahead and buy this Mega Mech, which is 6 damage. It costs 5, and it says you may return target base from play to its owner's hand. Why is that important? Because remember, the boss can steal a base. Where was it? Boss, if it's yellow, boss steals the highest cost non-outpost base. So remember, the non-outpost base, I can go around it, right? But it can steal it. So this way I can return a base from play to my hand. So that's a good card to have. And I wasn't thinking of this when I designed this scenario. All right, so this goes in my discard pile. And these go away, and that is the end of my turn. So I refill this, and then this card goes here for damage. Everything shifts down, and we reveal a card. I draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know I've got 2 Vipers in here. There they are. I hope I don't draw green. I drew green. Green. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I keep thinking it's red that I didn't want to pull. The green says, boss infects and scraps highest cost card in my hand. If the cost of the stolen card is less than 2, boss scraps. Now, these are all cost 1. They don't have a price on them because you can't buy them, but I need to add that as the rule that Scouts and Vipers count as a cost 1. So it means I've got to get rid of 2. So I'll get rid of 2 Scouts, and at least I can do some damage this turn. And now the boss will do 1 point of damage because of this card right here. So I took a point of damage, goes down to 49. That's not too bad. And I will frequently play this boss numbers of times. I'll play it easy, medium, hard, and I'll see how it stacks up. So on my turn now, I've only got 1 purchase, so I might be able to get something. There's this card. But with 2 damage, I'll go ahead and do 2 damage to it. And with the 1, I'll go ahead and buy the Blob Fighter because it does do 3 damage. And if I get another green, I can draw a card. That is the end of my turn. I get to refill this. I have to shuffle and draw my new hand. You always are supposed to draw your new hand right after your turn ends. And the reason being is the boss or your enemy may play cards that will take or steal cards out of your hand. So you need to have your cards ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in this case, if the boss draws red, I have to get rid of Vipers, and if the boss draws green, I got to get rid of the highest cost card. Boss infects and scraps. I forgot to scrap. Oh, I was supposed to scrap two of the. I scrapped 2 of my purchase power. Oh, I forgot that the rule is scrap them. All right, so I will fix that. I'm not going to do it with this hand. Actually, what I'll do is I'll scrap 2 and I'll draw 2 more. There we go. That's what would have happened. All right. Those would not have come back in the draw. So I've got a Viper, a Scout, a Viper, the Mega Mech, and another. So I've got 2 purchase, and I've got 6, 7, 8 damage. So I will do that 8 damage, and it says you may return a target base. There is no target base here. I don't have a red ally, so I don't get to draw another card. So what did I say? 6, 7, 8? 8 damage. So it's down to 20. Okay. And by the way, I'm playing normal mode. You should. I forgot to tell you that. Normally on easy mode, I get 3 turns before this starts attacking. I'm just playing it as I go, it goes. I go, it goes. I think that may be the hard. That may be the. I can't remember which mode that's called. Let me check real quick. With solo, I am playing veteran mode, where the player goes first and then the boss. On expert, the boss would go first. So I am playing expert mode. And I have 2 purchase left. I could get an explorer, or I could get this Federation shuttle, which gives me 2 coins, which is the same as an explorer. But if I pull a blue ally, I get 4 healing. Let's take that for 1. I have 1 spend left. There's nothing I can buy, so this goes away. And that is the end of my turn. I draw back up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This card comes up here for a total of 2 damage that this will do. And then this shifts. And we reveal. It's another green. Boss infects and scraps the highest cost card. Well, they're all the highest cost card. And the idea, and I should probably explain it, the idea is the player is getting to pick. So if they're all cost of 1, the player gets to pick. But it says if the cost of the card is less than 2, you have to scrap a second one. So I'm going to go ahead and scrap 2 more scouts. I'm down 4 scouts now. And that means it will do 2 points of damage to me, 47. So I'm not buying explorers, and I might need to. All right, so this turn around, I will. Oh, I'm going to buy the blob fighter. It's 1, and it does 3 damage. And that gives me 1 spend, which I can do nothing with. Nothing costs 1, so this goes away, and the blob fighter does 3 damage, so it's down to 17. Okay, that's good. That's the end of my turn. I don't have any cards to draw, so I need to shuffle. All right, let me draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, this card goes up. Now the enemy is doing me 3 damage. These shift down. And we reveal a blue. All right, here we go. The boss infects all bases. I don't have any. Or it attacks players with damage equal to half the total cost of base cards scrapped. I don't have any, so it doesn't do any damage. The blue may sound like it doesn't do anything, but it's there to impede the building of bases or the acquiring of bases. So in that sense, the mothership is keeping me from really wanting to invest in ships, and that's what that one last one is for. It's an impeding type. If you look at challenge cards, and I've looked at quite a few, a lot of the ones that, in my opinion, play best, that are my favorite, out of the 4, there'll be 3 that do damage, and that's the ones I have. And there's usually 1 that does no damage, but it keeps you from doing something. So that's kind of how I mirror my decision making when I'm coming up with these new rules. All right, so I don't have any bosses, and I've already had to scrap. Oh, by the way, the green doesn't do damage, but it does because it's taking cards from me and putting them in a scrap. I treat that as sort of like, that's damage. They're destroyed. I can't get them back. So I've got these 3 that do damage. This one does damage, but it's really there to keep you from getting bases. All right, let's see what we got. Scout, scout, attack, attack, scout. All right, I may be needing to get an explorer so that I don't keep losing my scouts. Let's go ahead and do the damage. 6, you may return a target base, but I don't have one. So that's 6 damage. I don't have a green ally out, so here's 9 damage. So this is down to 8. Okay. So let me stop here real quick and show you. So if I find that the veteran level is too easy, like I've got 47 to its 8. So in my mind, I'm already starting to think that I really underpowered this one. So what I will do, and I'm going to show you how I do it, even if this hits 0, because it's 30, it started at 30, even if it hits 0, I'll continue to play. I'll give it like an extra 10, and then I'll bump that to 40 in my mind, and we'll see how it goes. What I'm looking to see is, does this get more powerful as time goes on? Well, it does, because it's always going to get 1 extra combat point here. But so far, it hasn't done any of the yellow or the red, so it's only done green and blue. So let's keep going. With this 3, I can't buy it, nope. I could buy this one, but it only gives me money, which is not a bad thing, but it's a high cost. So if I pull a green and that's in my hand, that goes away. I would rather get an explorer, which has a cost of 2, so I get to choose what I want. If it's less than 2, well, if it is 2, then I've got to scrap the explorer, but that's a risk. With 1, there's nothing to buy, so it goes away. I draw my next 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it is now this turn. This is now doing 4 damage. And we reveal the next card, which is a green. Okay, boss infects and scraps the highest cost card. Well, in this case, they're all 1, so I get to choose. That's a tough one. If I get rid of my scout, I only have 1 scout, so I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to get rid of the Viper because it's a low damage card. So this leaves me with 4 damage. So, hold on, it's turn, sorry. So that's my hand left over. So it did its damage to me, which is, it scrapped my cards. So I'm automatically seeing that where this thing lacks bite is in damage dealing, because I'm still at 47 to its 8. Now that's getting ready to change because now it's my turn. Actually, it does 4 damage to me, so I'm down to 43. All right, then I will do 4 damage to it, knock it down to 4. And with 1 purchase, I can't buy anything, so that's wasted. I have to shuffle now because I'm low on cards. Low on cards. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm liking my rules. I'm liking the way this is playing because I'm having to stay on my toes because I keep having to scrap. I've already scrapped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 of my starting hand is in the scrap yard. So my hand is not all that great. So I drew mine. Now it's its turn. This goes away. It's now doing 5 damage. This shifts down. And I draw a 3 with an outpost. Okay. Oh, sorry. I drew a blue. Boss infects all bases. I don't have any. So I get a breather there. I got a Viper, a heal, no, cost, damage, and cost. So I've got 4 purchase. I don't have a blue ally, so I don't get to heal for 4. I do 3 damage, 4 damage, which will destroy it. All right. So with this, I have managed to take it down to 0. And with the 4, 2, 3, 4... I'm going to buy this, oh no I'm not. I'm going to buy this Blob Destroyer that does 6 damage. All right, so that's gone. All right, I replace this card, and then it becomes the enemy's turn. Now, the enemy, I draw my 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. I only have 4 cards, so I have to shuffle this. All right, and get a 5th. So I have my 5 cards. This comes up here. All right, so I started with 30 health. I'm going to bump it to 40, so we'll give it 10 more health. And what I'm really doing, let's go ahead and, I think, well, no, let's give it 20. So I would start it with 50-50. So I may find that this card best plays when it's equal to me, 50 versus 50 health. So we'll see. That's high for a challenge card, but it's not. It's been done before. All right, so everything shifts. We draw a card. It drew a blue. I don't have any bases, and it's going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage to me. So I'm down to 37. 37. And now with the blue, like I said, no bases, which. Again, I don't like not having bases, but because all that damage is going to me. And this is just part of trying to plan out the design of this card. It's not doing any damage to me because I'm not getting any bases, but I'm taking the damage directly. So what I might find in order to make the game more even is I have to increase the damage it does, and we'll get there. I'm going to give it 20 health, so it's starting at 50. Let's see what I got. A scout, an explorer, a mecha, and 2. All right, so I've got some allies here. All right, so I'm doing 9 damage, and this one says I get to draw another card, which I get to draw a scout. Okay. This one says destroy a target base and or scrap a card in the trade row. Well, I'm not going to scrap any cards because it doesn't really hurt my opponent. It just takes a card out of play. But I'm going to do 12, 15 damage. I could do 17 if I scrap my Explorer, which I'm not going to do. So 12 plus 3 is 15. So it's down to 5. Like that. Okay. And then these go away. And then I've got 2, 3, 4 purchase, which I will buy this outpost. And I have 1 left over. And I can't buy that, so this is done. And now I draw my 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have to shuffle. Ooh, I'm liking this mechanic of keeping my deck thin because it keeps scrapping. I mean, you may not draw any greens very early on, and that's good. But if you don't draw the greens, you're going to draw the yellows and the reds, which are going to do damage. So I'm having to scrap my hand. So I'm going to have to tinker with these rules, but you can kind of see how it goes. I'll get my 5th card. All right, so this one comes up here. Everything shifts. I haven't seen a red or yellow card yet. There's a green, and I promise you there's reds and yellows in there. I just haven't seen them. The green card says, boss infects and scraps the highest cost card in your hand. Oh, look at that. There goes my 5. So my 5, and if it's lower than 2, I have to scrap another one. But I have to scrap that, and that's 6 damage right there. Okay, and then it does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. So now I'm down to 30. Now we're starting to see that it's getting more powerful as this ramps up. My turn. I've got a scout, a viper, a blob fighter. I've got 4 damage, so that knocks it down to 1. And I've got 3 purchase power. 3 purchase. I will buy this ram, which does 5 damage. Hopefully that will come out. I refill this slot. There's a yellow. And I draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this one comes up here. This thing is now doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. Everything shifts. And I've got another green. The highest cost card in my hand, which is my 4. It's my Blob Destroyer. So that hurt, and it does 8 damage. So now I'm down to 22. Now we're talking. So I'm getting some balance here. The game is starting to look, even. Not really, but it's with a little bit of tweaking, it could be a very close run. I might have 10 health versus 5 or something. All right, let's see. I've got a fighter. Ooh, here we go. 3 damage. That is enough to destroy it. Boom. Dead. Okay, so let's take a look real quick. I have 22 health to its 0. I started with 50. It started with 50. So pretty even health, but 20-point range. 20-point range. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play it again. I'm going to reset the game. I'm going to set it to 50 health. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase I think what I need to do is either for the green or blue. I haven't tested the yellow and red, but the yellow and red only do 4 damage depending on how they play out. Or the highest value, if you play a base, it's going to take the highest value of the base. So that could come into play. I think what I'm going to do, and by the way, when you're doing these kinds of things, you don't want to tweak 2 things. You want to tweak 1 thing at a time and then play it and see how it goes. Play it a few times. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to replay this game. I'm going to record it, append it to this video. I'm going to make 1 change. I think what I should do is boss infects and scraps the highest cost card in player's hand. If the cost is less than 2, boss steals a 2nd card, which means it goes up and it ramps the damage up faster. Let's try that. All right, give me a moment to reset. I'll be right back.
Check out the new RPG and Wargame Newsletter. Each week, the tabletop engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.
Okay, I've gone ahead and shuffled both of these piles. And let me go ahead and shuffle my hand. All right, so I am going to be starting with 50 health. My enemy, the boss, is also going to start with 50 health, which is a lot, but it could make for a fun game. It just depends on how much damage is being dealt. What's really going to stink is as the game progresses, the enemy is going to get more damaging, because remember, they get a card for every round that goes, and that's a point of damage. So when you're up to round 8, 9, 10, you're dealing 8 to 10 points every round. So you got to try to finish this boss off early in the game. All right, so let's go ahead and reveal the cards. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now remember, the only change I made from the first game is when I draw a green, if the cost of the stolen card is less than 2, the boss will steal a second card, which goes into their damage pile. All right, so let's play this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm playing veteran, which means I go, then the boss goes. Scout, 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 scout. 5 purchase. I was hoping for some damage, but that's okay. 5. Not a lot to do here. I know that damage is my specialty, so I'm going to choose this base. It's an outpost that costs 3. And then I've got 2 left. And I'm going to buy this spike for 3 damage for 1. And that gives me 1 left. And I guess I'll buy a Federation shuttle and return that there. Okay, so now it's, I draw my 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This card goes up here for damage. That's 1 card. And everything shifts. And we reveal. There's a red. Okay. All right, so the boss is going to do 1 damage, and then red says, boss infects and absorbs all vipers. Uh-oh. 1 viper, 2 vipers. Or attacks with 4. So if absorbed, boss gains 4 health. So he's automatically up to 54. And by the way, you can go over your starting health in this game. So that leaves me with 3 purchase. Oh, by the way, it does 1 damage to me, so I'm down to 49. And it didn't attack me because it absorbed it says it infects and absorbs all vipers or attacks with 4. Meaning if you don't have any vipers, you're going to get attacked by 4. Let's see, 3 purchase. And I may need to reword that so that you understand it as, if you have vipers, they are scrap. That's not a choice. You don't get to choose between scrapping your vipers or taking 4 damage. It's although that might be a nice balance. I may have to hold on to that because you're scrapping 2 points of damage. You're taking 4, but you're reserving 2 points of damage for a later hand. We'll see. All right, I've got 3 purchase. Let's go ahead and buy this Federation shuttle so I have an ally for 1. And, ooh, 8. Ooh, okay. 2. No. Yes, I'll take the trade pod. And refill it. Draw my 5. I'm already down two vipers out of my hand. So that's not good. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. This goes up here. It's doing 2 base damage. Everything shifts. Reveal a red again. Boss infects and absorbs all vipers. Well, I don't have any more vipers, so I have to take 4 damage. Plus 5, 6. So now I'm down to 43. And that is that. All right, I've got 2 purchase. 3, 4. And I've got 2 allies here. So let's see what I can do. 2, 3, 4. 4 purchase. I can purchase this outpost. It's an outpost, so yellow's not going to affect it. Only blue will affect it. So that goes away. And then I've got 3, 5 damage, and 3 purchase. Oh, I didn't think about using that 3 purchase. Let me flip a card over here. Maybe I could have gotten, what could I have gotten? 1, 2, 3, 4. I spent, hold on. This is 3. I still have 1 left. Sorry. So now I have 4 spend. And I've got 5 damage. I'll go ahead and do the 5 damage. So it's down to 49. And with the 4 spend, I could get 2 explorers. That's going to help me buy more expensive cards, hopefully. All right, let's draw my 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's up to 3 core damage. Everything shifts. And I draw red again. I don't have any Vipers, so I take 4 damage plus 3 is 7. I'm down to 36. There we go. 36 to 49, a 13-point deficit, which I've played a lot of veteran games, and this is typical. This is about right. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 purchase power. 6. We'll definitely want to buy this for protection. And that costs 5, so I have 1 left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I have 1 left. Let's see what gets revealed before I spend it. I'll buy the trade raft for 1 and refill it. Draw my 5. 1, 2, 3. I have to shuffle. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's see what I got. This one comes up here, 4 core damage. Everything shifts, and we reveal a blue. Boss infects all bases under player's control. I don't have any, so this is a breather round for me. Yes, all right. Now I have a base out. 1, 2, I've got 2 blues, so I've got allies, and this says draw a card because it's a blue. And I also heal 4, and I also heal 4 again. So 8 plus that 44, I go up to 44. Okay, that was a good buy. And now I've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 purchase. 7 purchase, and I can't do any damage with the battle station unless I trash it. Let's see. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Well, I don't want him to steal any bases, because if he steals a base, he's going to get whatever benefit it offers in terms of damage. If it's just purchase, there's no benefit. So with 7, let's buy the cheapest card I can, which is this trade bot for 1, to try to refill and get something good. I didn't get anything good. I got a yellow, which allows me to draw a card, which could come in handy. So I spent 1. Let me take 1 away. I'll spend this one on this one and try to get something better. Same thing. A 1-cost card. I'll spend this one to buy it. And now I've got a 3-cost card, and I have 4 spend left. I'll spend this 2 on this 2 damage. And I'll spend this 2 on this 1 damage. There we go. All right. Now, the decision, do I trash the battle station and do 5 damage? Or, because if I draw a blue card next, he's going to take this and self-destruct with it, and I'll take 2 damage. And it costs me 3 to spend. It gives me 2, but I can give it 5 damage. I'm going to try it. I'm going to scrap it for 5 damage. So it's down to 44. To my 44. Yeah, we're about even. But remember, he's doing some damage to me. Let's draw 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This comes up here. He's now doing 5 core damage to me. Everything shifts. And he draws a yellow. Here we go. The boss will steal the highest cost non-outpost. I don't have any. If no non-outpost, he attacks with 4 or damage equal to the highest cost outpost that I do have. I don't have an outpost. I'm glad I destroyed that, because I would have taken 3 damage. No, I still would have taken 4. So I take 4 damage plus the 5 is 9. So I'm down to 35. Ooh. Okay, 35, just like that. All right, did the damage, and I didn't have any base to lose. So 1, 2, 4, 5, and I got my mech world out. Counts as an ally for all factions. Ooh, that's a good one to have out. But if he destroys it, I'm going to take 3 damage. So I got 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 purchase power. You may acquire a ship of cost 4 or less for free and put it directly on top of your deck. That's not a bad one. But this one does 5 damage. 2, 3, 4. Let's take that one. 4 damage. No, 5 damage, I said. 5 damage. And I've got 1 spend left, and there is, well, I could buy this, but I'm not going to, because I may want to hold on to that. Well, do I buy that? It does allow me to draw a card if I pull it, because I'll have an ally here. Let's do it. Let's pull it. And I got a spike pod. Okay, draw my 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This comes out. Everything shifts. I now have 6 protection from damage unless it draws a blue. If it draws a blue, I'm in trouble. It drew a red. Okay. All right, the red says, boss infects and absorbs all vipers. I have no vipers left. Or attacks with 4. So I'm down to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm down 10 points. So I'm down to 25, just like that. I got 1. Oh, I've got another base here. 1, and I've got some allies here. Okay, so let's see what we can do. Let's do the damage first. I've got, this counts as an ally, but I've already, target opponent discards a card, which just means you take a card and you discard it. You put it in scrap. And it doesn't do, oh, hold on. I just took 10 damage, but I had this out. I'll put 4 back on and have this destroyed, so I should get 4 back. So I'm back up to, he did 10 damage, and I'm getting back, I protected 6, so he did 4. So I had 6 back, 25 plus 24, I should have 30. I had 34, and he did 4 damage. Right, he had 10, but 6 was protected, so I'm at 30. I was at 34, and he did 4, so I'm at 30. Sorry. Okay, that was good. Totally forgot I had a base that could absorb some of that damage. I've got 3, 4, 5, and I can destroy this for an extra 2, so that's 7 damage, which I will scrap for 7. That knocks this down to 37. The game is, it's still there, it's still winnable. And I've got 3, 4, 5 purchase power, which I will buy this Imperial Frigate for 3. And I've got 2 left. And with the 2, I will buy this damaging red. And I refill it. And then everything shifts. Or actually, I got to draw. 1, 2. I have to shuffle. So one of the things I'm already thinking about is the red, once you lose those Vipers, you're only going to take 4 damage. But remember, you've lost 2 because you no longer have any Vipers in your deck. That may not be a bad thing, but I may have to tweak that rule a little bit. I may have to play with something. But let's see how this game finishes up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. This comes up here for a total of 7 core damage. Now we're getting into the danger area. And we reveal a red. Boss will infect and absorb all Vipers and do 4 damage plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 plus 4 is 11 damage. This is 5, so I will take 6 damage and I'm down to 24. Okay, that's not a problem. 2, 3, 4 damage, and all right, I do have an ally, so I can heal 4, and I can also draw another card. So I draw a card, and I heal for 4, so I'm up to 28. Okay. Let's see. You may scrap a card in your hand or discard pile. Let's scrap a scout. I've got enough purchasing power now. I don't need to worry about drawing more scouts. And I did that. I've got a red ally, so I've got 2 damage, 4, 6 damage, 6. I can scrap the Explorer, which I really don't want to do, but it's getting close. 2, 4, 6 will knock it down to 31. I'm gonna get rid of the Explorer. it's time to stop buying stuff and have some of my damage cards come up. I'm going to destroy it for 2 damage, and I get 2, 4, 6, 8 damage. 8 damage. That knocks it down to 29. And I still have 1, 2, 3, 4 spend, which I will buy this one, which does damage. Does 5 damage. All right, that's that. Replace it. Draw my 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, don't look at it yet. Okay, so this comes up here for a total of 9 core. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 core damage. Everything shifts. And we reveal a green, which the green is boss infects and scraps the highest cost card in your hand. Oh, I'm going to hate this. Oh, they're all 1s. Okay. But because they're less than 2, I have to get rid of 2 of them. Let's get rid of the scout. And let's get rid of the other scout. So that's okay. And then it does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. Oh, I'm down to 20, just like that. All right. 20 to 29. Let's see what I got left. I've got no allies. So I've got draw a card. I get to draw a card. Ooh, that's good. 5 damage. 5, 6, 7. I get to discard a card. So I flip this over. I'm not really sure. That in the challenge, that's not my rule. It's always if the boss, if you're playing solo and the boss discards a card, you take one off of here and you scrap it. I don't really know if that does anything. Maybe you'll get lucky and flip a card that would be bad to you, but I don't know. I don't know why that rule's in effect. Okay, so I drew the card, and I do 5, 6, 7, and I can scrap this one for 2 more for 9 damage. Let's do that. Let's do that. Scrap it, and I'll do 9 damage. That makes it an even game. And I've got 2. I didn't have a blue. No, I didn't. So I got 2 spend. 2 spend, which gets me, I'll take the spike pod because it does 3 damage. Is that right? Yep. 3 damage. Refill it. Draw my 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one comes up here. It is now doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 core damage. 9 base damage. And it draws a red. Boss infects and absolves our vibers. It does 4 damage. Plus, what did I say? 9, 13. I'm down to 7. This was a close game. So I do think I'm getting very close to the balance of this game because I'm normally veteran is what I play. I don't play where I get 3 turns and it gets 1. I play where I go, it goes. I go, it goes. So this is we're getting pretty close to the balance right here. Let's see what I got. I didn't have to destroy anything. So can I? No, it's looking pretty rough. I've only got purchase power now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6. 6. I'll get the obliterator, which does 7 damage, but I may not get a chance to play it. And that is all I got. Refill this. Draw my final hand, because right now, unless it doesn't go my way, he's going to do 10 damage to me. He's got 10 base. Everything shifts. And I can't win because there's nothing I have to, and it's a blue. So he would take control of all my bases. I don't have any. And then he does 10, and he reduces me to 0. So honestly, I'm going to play this. I like where I've got this rule right now. 50 health and scrap the highest card. But if it's less than 2, it steals a card. And you know what? I forgot to play that, which would have added more damage here, which would have bumped my damage lowered my health faster. I think there were 2 instances I took advantage of that. And I forgot to put the second card into the pile here. So like I said, I'll be playing this a few more times before I make this card available. Once it becomes available, that does not mean that it's final. It just means at that point, I'm going to listen to feedback from other players. There's a Facebook group for Star Realms where I share it there, and I'm hoping to get some more feedback on this new card that will help me maybe refine it. But sometimes you're lucky. Sometimes you release a card in the wild and people go, oh man, I played it. It was so fun. You know, I won once, but I lost twice or whatever. And so it's an up or down kind of thing. And it's always kind of tricky to create these solo challenge cards. You gotta have a very good understanding of how the game plays. You gotta play a bunch of games, but you also have to be a little creative in how you make the rules so that they're different from other challenge cards. But there we go. All right, that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed this. That was 2 games of Star Realms at veteran mode, where I went and then the boss went. If you have any questions, post them in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. Check the next week's newsletter. Well, I say next week. It depends on when you're watching this video. I have a newsletter, which the link for the free newsletter is in the video description below. I do a lot of coverage of RPGs and war games and board games and stuff like that. But when I release freebie stuff like this that's custom, I will put it in the newsletter along with a link so you can go get you a copy of it. All right, that's it. This is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me as I played Star Realms. I'll be back again very soon with another playthrough game. Until then, everybody, take care.